Hi guys, how you doing? I'm hiding in my mother's spare room to do this talk with you today. I hope you're very well indeed. So, our emotional need for food. As human beings, we have many needs in our life: physical, emotional, and mental. And our body is built for survival. It's built for survival, and if our needs are not being met on any level, then the body will see that as a threat and will respond in certain ways. So we kind of separate our health, don't we? We separate our mental health, emotional health, and physical health. But the body doesn't do that. The body puts it all together. Now, if we didn't have an emotional attachment to food, then we wouldn't have that urge to eat sometimes, and we wouldn't survive. We'd die out, So I bet you can think of a friend. I think of my friend Caroline, and I always think of wine and popcorn. And I think of my family, Irish family, and I think of bacon and cabbage. Yeah. So there's foods that you will be able to associate with memories and emotions, and that is no mistake. Now, genuine physical hunger comes on gradually, and you'll feel a bit peckish, and then you'll start to feel a bit more hungry, and then you might get a rumbling in your stomach later on, and then you'll feel, and if you go too long, you might feel faint or dizzy, but it will come on gradually, and so it doesn't kind of just go bang straight in there. And physical hunger can be satisfied literally with 100 calories. Isn't that crazy? So there's like roughly 100 calories in an apple. Just think, people go, oh, I'm a bit hungry, and actually they start throwing things down their neck, when actually 100 calories will satisfy you for a short time. Obviously we need meals and everything like that, which are more calories, but I always find it amazing that 100 calories will do it. And that's why I say to people, eat slowly, so that you can clock when you're physically getting full and you don't need any more food. It's a very simple technique, but it works. Now, emotional hunger is a different kettle of fish altogether, right? So emotional hunger is rushing towards it. It's a craving. It's I want it now. I have to have it. I really want it. It's sudden. It's vicious, and that's the difference between emotional and physical hunger. Also, there's other reasons. The body is always speaking to us, always, all the time. So, for example, I do tell this story a lot, but if the body is lacking nutrients, then what it will do is it'll ask for food. So it'll say, oh, I need some vitamin C. I really need some vitamin C. And so you have a bag of crisps. And it goes, yeah, that was all right. That was good. I like those. But I still need the vitamin C. So then you have a sandwich. And it goes, yeah, that was all right. I liked that. But I still need the vitamin C. And it'll keep asking. It'll just keep asking for food because it's looking for nutrients. Now, everybody knows I'm a massive fan of the Gabriel method, and the Gabriel method is losing weight without weight loss. Check it out, the Gabriel method. He's fantastic. I love John Gabriel. He's amazing. But he discovered that if you fill the body full of nutrients, it will ask for less junk, it will feel happier, you'll feel emotionally and psychologically happier, you will lose weight, but also you won't get the cravings. And the other thing that it does beautifully is it tightens the skin. So when people go on diets where they drastically cut their calories and drastically cut their nutrients along with their calories, that's where the loose skin comes in. So if you want to keep the skin tight and have keep yourself toned, then the three things that I highly recommend is nutrients. You make sure you're getting them. Water, you make sure you're getting it. And stretching, you make sure you're doing it. Those three things will create great tone, and it's great for the skin. So with the Gabriel method as well, how he started was he just said at least one meal a day is going to be super duper nutritious. And as you know, I recommend that, you make sure you're having at least one really, really nutritious meal a day. But what you'll find is the body will ask for more nutrients, it'll ask for more good stuff, and suddenly you're really enjoying good healthy food, and you're not actually wanting the bland dirty pizza that tastes full of salt and gives you a salt hangover the next day. So it really does make a difference. Now, our emotional need for food, for those of you that are doing my Transform program, or perhaps on my VIP subscription, or perhaps you've joined me in the flesh maybe, you know that I'm all about listening to the body and analysing the body. For those that are new to me, that are just watching this for the first time, hi. I want you to analyse your body. When you get an emotional food craving, when you get that, why? What do you need? What is it that you want? Yeah. Now, most people go, it's stress, it's work, it's the fella. They look outside of themselves. And I don't want you to look outside of yourself. I want you to look in. What do you need? It may be as simple as you're tired. It may be as simple as you're bored. But it might be deeper. Are your emotional needs being met? Do you feel lonely? Do you need love? Do you need friendship? Do you need sex? What is it that you're needing, that the body is asking for? When our emotional, physical or mental needs are not being met, the body will see it as a threat. And what does the body do when it sees something as a threat? If you're running away from your stress, you will get leaner, you'll get hotter, you'll get less hungry. If you're moving towards your stress, you will be tired when you should be awake, you'll be awake when you should be tired, and the body lays down fat around the middle because it doesn't understand that you're not going fighting a lion. It doesn't understand that you're moving towards your job, perhaps, or maybe you've had a fight with your spouse. It doesn't understand that moving towards your stress isn't dangerous. If it's a physical, mental or emotional threat, it's still a threat to the body, and the body is built for survival and it will protect itself. So this is where I really, with all my ladies, all my guys, I start saying you have to start looking after you. You have to start really analysing you and asking, what do I need? Now, it doesn't mean that you might just, up and leave your job or bloody get divorced tomorrow or throw the kids out the window or anything like that. But it does mean that the brain, once you start analysing it, the brain will start to look for solutions. The brain is a fantastic tool that we should be using. If you say to yourself on a Friday, oh, do you know, I fancy fish tonight, your brain will automatically say, well, you finish work at 5, and if you go take this route in the car, you'll be able to get to, such and such a place, and you'll be able to go to this aisle here, and there's the fish counter. It will start organising it in your brain what you need to do that, yeah? So then that's why I say you've got to ask, what do I need emotionally or psychologically? What am I not getting that my body really needs? And how can I get that? Yeah? So this is why I always say, I need you feeling good, guys. I need you feeling good and looking good. You can't feel bad and look good. You just can't do it. Can't happen. Yeah? So, and I want you to, yes, we use the scales and maybe inches or maybe clothes as a gauge as to how we're doing with our weight loss and things like that. But if the numbers become more important than what you look like and you feel like, then I failed. I've completely failed, because I am not one of these people that wants you to be the perfect 8 stone or the perfect 9 stone, but you look wrecked and you're miserable and you're unhappy and you look terrible. That isn't worth it. I would prefer you to be a number maybe you're not so happy with and look amazing. Yeah. So I want you to be the best version of you, and that numbers don't do that. We want you feeling good and looking good. And we're not all meant to look the same, are we? We're not all meant to look the same. So for the next week, this is what I want you to do for the next week. I want you to self-analyze. I want you to analyze your body. So I want you to decipher whether it's physical hunger, whether it's emotional or psychological hunger. For instance, anger is an action emotion. It's an action emotion. You've got to produce some action when you're angry. And if you're in a situation where you're very angry, but you can't, or irritated or annoyed, but you can't produce an action or confront what you're angry about, then you're gonna eat because the body needs to do something. And also, the easiest way to ground the body, settle the body down, is to eat. So this is the other thing. I often talk as well about people who feel too much. These are sensitive people. You'll know if you're a sensitive person. You will be the go-to person for problem solving. All your friends will come to you with their woes. They will walk away feeling amazing and you'll be wrecked. You'll cry at adverts and Disney films. I don't know who else does that. I'm terrible for crying at the TV. I cry at the TV all the time. Strangers will tell you their life story because they'll feel comfortable in your company. But what that means is, if you're a sensitive person, an empath as they call them, you will suck in everybody else's energy, and this is very unsettling for the body. It's very unsettling. So what will happen then is around 4 or 5 o'clock, the body's been sucking in all this energy, and it won't know what to do with itself. It'll feel unsettled, and the easiest way to ground itself is to eat. Now you can ground yourself by deep breathing too, and you can ground yourself by drinking water, and you can ground yourself by walking around barefoot even. Meditation grounds you. There's loads of different ways to ground yourself, but the easiest way is to eat. And that's why people find themselves then raiding the cupboards at 4 or 5 o'clock before the kids are ready for their tea at 6 and stuff like this. So I want you to be aware of what's being taken from you. When I do a class and I'm teaching a class, if everyone's up for it and amazing and fun and everything, it's the easiest class in the world. I come out of there, they go, God, Anna, you're so fit. But if I go into a class and they're all like down and not wanting to do it and grumpy, then I've got to pick them up, and that's like 5 classes to me. It's like I'm working 5 times harder, and I come out of that class puce, sweating, wrecked. And people go, my God, what did you teach in there? And I go, aqua's not supposed to be that hard. You know, so it's funny because it depends on the energy that's surrounding you, you know. So I want you to really do this week. I want you to analyse your body. When you feel emotional hunger, when you feel psychological hunger, and when you feel physical hunger, if you're physically hungry, eat. It's as simple as that. If you are physically hungry, eat. If you're emotionally or psychologically hungry, I want you to ask, what is this? What is the emotion behind this? What do I need? What am I not getting? And as ladies, and I know some gentlemen as well, often we put other people's needs and wants before ourselves, and then we're left lacking emotionally and psychologically, and sometimes physically, lacking love, lacking time, lacking help, support, you know, all kinds of things. And when you analyse it and you acknowledge it, the brain will immediately kick in as to how to find a solution to that problem. Now, you'll laugh because people always think, oh my God, I'm going to end up running away to live on an island. That's what I'm going to end up doing. But that isn't the case. So, for example, I came in from work the other night and my husband was already in bed. And I'd had a really, really hard day. And it was late and I was tired. And I sat in the living room and I thought, oh, you know, and I was so tired. And I felt a bit lonely and I felt a bit blue. And I thought, oh, do you know what I could do with a sandwich right now? Or I'm savoury, I'm a savoury woman. I could do with something. So I made myself a cup of tea and I suddenly thought, I really want to eat. I really want to eat. Now, I wasn't physically hungry, but I really wanted to eat. And I thought, what do I need? And after a hard day and just a stressful day and working hard, what I needed was a bit of comfort and a bit of love and a bit of support. And I went and sat in the living room, and in walked Oscar the Husky. And up beside me and me and Oscar had a little cuddle all of our own while watching the television. And that supplied the need I needed. It supplied that. And when I was stroking and cuddling Oscar and he was leaning into me, had his head in my neck and all this business, I didn't want to eat. Why? Because what I needed was being supplied. Now, it might not always come, really, I wanted a love from the husband, but he was in bed, right? But I got it from the dog. So it doesn't matter how you get it, but the brain will start looking for a way to provide it. If you're in a job you hate, then you'll find that when you get to work, you'll suddenly want to be snacking all day because you hate your job, If you acknowledge that, because people are scared of doing that, they're scared of acknowledging what it is. But as soon as you acknowledge it, then the brain will start looking for options to solve the problem. And then next thing you might see an opportunity of a different job, or you might see a better job, or maybe you might see some training that you'd like to do that you'd enjoy, or maybe you can alleviate some of the pressure at work by delegating, but there is no solution unless the acknowledgement comes. So they always say when it comes to things, awareness. No, Dad, I don't want a bacon sandwich and tea. Get out! Do I want a bacon sandwich and tea? Do I said to Mum, make sure he doesn't come in here. So hilarious. So they say, first of all, is awareness. And then after the awareness comes the acknowledgement and the transformation. But awareness is the first step. And that's what I want you to do this week. I want you to be aware. And don't worry about feeling. People fear feeling, and it's never as bad as you think it's going to be. Once you acknowledge a feeling, it dissipates. If you ignore that feeling, however, it will continue and continue and continue. So a little example of how emotional hunger works as well. So imagine your emotions being like messengers to you to tell you what's going on within your body, within your brain, within your life. Yeah? And so the messenger is like a postman delivering a message. And so he knocks on the door and you go, here you go. Take a hold of that. Have some pizza. I haven't got time to speak to you right now. And the messenger, the postman, is quiet while he's eating the pizza. But he's not delivered the message, so he'll knock again. And you throw some pop and some crisps out to him and go, eat that, I've no time to speak to you now. And he's quiet while he's eating the crisps and the pop, but he's not delivered the message, so he'll keep knocking again. And he'll keep knocking until that message is delivered. And that's why someone can get angry in 1963 and then be 25 stones heavier in 2018. Do you know what I mean? This is what happens because you're feeding the emotion, not acknowledging the emotion. And I want you to acknowledge the emotion. So this is the emotional need for food. There is an emotional need. There's a very strong emotional and physical need for food. And there's a reason we're attached to food, and that's because we would die out if we weren't attached to food. But I really want you to analyse yourself this week. If you do this one thing, it will change everything. Believe me, it will change everything. So I want you to do that this week for me. For those of you that are on my programs, that are on my courses, well done, you're flying. You're doing so amazing. The BWRT, the Brain Working Recursive Therapy, is in all my programs now, and it's a game changer. I won't lie, but it's going in through the head, isn't it? So it works. And everyone's been just doing so amazing. Everyone's been full of cold though, so this nasty cold has been going around, so I hope you're all feeling better. For those of you that are new to me, I'm Anna Ferguson. I'm a personal trainer, nutritionist. I am a holistic therapist. I am a brain working recursive practitioner therapist, BWRT, and I help people move back past physically, emotionally and psychologically so that they can get to their health and physique goals. I don't believe we're all supposed to look the same. I believe that we should be proud of our differences, but I do believe we should be healthy, we should be strong, and we should be happy in our own skin, whatever size that is. So if you want to speak to me, just get in touch with me, drop me a line, book in to speak to me. I'm always putting links up where you can speak to me and we can have a chat. If I can help you, I will. When people book in to speak to me, there is no pressure. I want to help you as much as possible, but if you want to do one of my programs and come and join me, great, you know. But I'm not looking for the ones that don't want to speak to me. I'm looking for the ones that do want to speak to me. I'm looking for the ones that want to make the change. I'm looking for the ones that want to do it. I don't want to work with people that don't want to do it. What's the point of that? You know, and I am a one-woman show, so it's just me. There is no one else. And I like talking, as you can see. So I'm not scary. So if you do want to speak to me, get in touch. I hope you're very well. I hope you take a great deal from this little chat today. And I'll speak to you very soon. Have a good one.